Hi, this is Anthony Lighthall. Thank you for joining me today on this podcast entitled From Dreams to Actions, where we talk about business goals, supporting positive energy, and following your dreams. On today's episode, I want to talk about building resilience. And not just building resilience, but how do you kind of get through or navigate through those challenges and through that adversity that you're probably dealing with during this season. So let's start off and definitely um, kind of I want to frame this episode in regards to resilience. And nowadays there's so much that goes on in our lifetime with unexpected setbacks. In regards to learning how to navigate through those crucial situations and how to, as they say, kind of ride the wave or get through that storm. And that's why I really wanted to talk about resilience, especially appropriately right now. And I'm filming this in October of 2023, and there's a lot going on, especially um, with employment. I'll say, post COVID right now. Different wars, different things that are just happening in the world. A lot of violence. And so there's a lot of negativity out there, and I really want to put out an episode to really talk about resilience and how to really build your confidence in that positive mindset that you need to have to get through your day or get through your week. And so that's what I really want to talk about today. But, definitely how to navigate through those challenging times is something I wanted to discuss. And I'm not an expert. I would say I want to facilitate, this kind of discussion. And it was something on my heart that I really want to discuss with my audience today. So definitely thank you for joining me. But let's get into it and talk about resilience. I really want to explain what resilience is and why is it important. And as I said, life definitely throws you curveballs. You're probably in a curveball right now that's really making you feel anxious and uncomfortable and nervous and really worried about a lot of things. And I can understand. I've been in curveballs myself and currently in one at this moment. But, resilience is not about avoiding that problem, it's really attacking it and going towards that fear and really facing your fears as we have grown up hearing. That's what adversity, or excuse me, what resilience is during adversity and challenging times, and really facing those problems. And those problems, when you face them, is going to help to build you and make you stronger. Not physically, but I really believe mentally, so that, when something else approaches you, another fear, another challenge, it may even be something that's not even that big to you because you went through such a bad storm where it's like, oh, this is a rerun. I've gone through this before. This is no big deal. Or maybe you can coach or mentor somebody that's going through a season that you have went through, and you can really help navigate them throughout that season as well. And I feel that's just a high level overview. I'm not going to give a definition of resilience, but that's, in my eyes, that's what being resilient is. And it's not stopping, it's really continuing on as a leader and facing those fears and those challenges. And you never know where it could get you to, in a positive sense, which I'll talk about later in this episode. Let me start off with a question here is, you know, why is resilience such a crucial skill, and especially in today's world? Well, basically, like I mentioned, there's so much negativity in the world, and I feel like it's so much negativity just happens wherever, whenever. You're just never, you don't plan for that. But how do you kind of be agile? How do you pivot? And I think that's a crucial skill that you have to have um, personally and also professionally in your professional life wherever you work, because that happens a lot, with people where they're working on a project and maybe their manager taps them on the shoulder. Hey, I have an emergency over here. I have something else I need you to work on. How do you become kind of resilient and agile and can kind of navigate and move a certain way where it's not taking away too much from what you're focusing on? And again, just in a unpredictable world, you just have to be ready for that. You just have to be kind of prepared for that. And sometimes, as prepared as you are, and as much training and coaching you go through, sometimes you're not ready for it. Maybe you're like a deer in the headlights. And when something actually does happen, when there's an action that needs to take place, it's like, okay, well, what do I do? What are the steps? What did I remember that I was trained on or coached on? And And having that mental strength and that resilience can definitely help you, throughout your journey, throughout your path in life or whatever season that you're going through. Um, as an example, with resilience, have you ever been kind of tested when you had to make a difficult decision? And some of those decisions include a job change. So this is uh, this is your choice to leave an employer. So whether that employer is just not for you and it's just not a good match, and you've been working there maybe 5, 6 months, and you're trying it out, you're trying it, and it's just not working out, and you're deciding to leave, or there's a better opportunity for you to increase or advance your level, or to get paid more or a better title, and you're leaving to go to another employer. Now, that's risky because you don't know that next outcome. And that's where resilience has to come in. Facing that fear, that's a worry, that's a unknown fear, uncomfortable situation that you just have to be resilient and try it and just go for it. Another example, starting a business. I think about Shark Tank. When the sharks don't want to move forward with a business, or the inventor or the person who develops the product or that service is going back and forth on the negotiations, and it just falls through. Any business where um, someone's not understanding or believing in your business, and you just have to continue. I think about like songwriters, or maybe athletes, or entertainers. They always have to be like um resilient in my mind. They're always auditioning for that role, or they're trying to write that song, or they're trying to produce that beat. There's a lot of resilience involved in that, because people can definitely knock down your confidence, and you have to really make sure that you continue to build that up. um Last thing is pursuing new opportunities, like I mentioned, employment and a job, opportunities for um I don't know, maybe dating, an opportunity to be with somebody that can definitely change your life, or that finding that spouse. Um, that's always it's unknown, until you get to know that person and take time and, really be with them. It's an opportunity, in a way, and you found love or whatever. And so, certain things like that, you just have to be resilient. You have to know your worth, and know that you are worthy of someone, or worthy of a business or a company, for you to work for. So just a couple of examples in regards to resilience I just wanted to share. The next thing I wanted to ask, another question here, was how can someone build the resilience they need during uh, making tough choices? And the first thing I would definitely say is, making tough decisions is, it can be very stressful. Again, it's the unknown. And I think we put that on ourselves, the unknown, the fear, the worry. But guess what? You don't know until you do it. But in your mind, you're already thinking about those questions. What if this doesn't work? What if they don't like it? What if she doesn't like me? What if he doesn't like me? We're already instilling that, where we're not we need to turn on, I'm gonna get that job. You applied for, 10 jobs online. I'm gonna get 5 of these are gonna call me back, and I'm gonna get one of these, or I'm gonna get multiple offers. We have to click on that mindset. And I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you, when it comes to these. But having that resilient, and building that confidence and that mindset, is very helpful with the resilience. You know, the self-awareness, and clarity about your value and your goals. Like I said, that's all about the confidence. It's all about the goals that you have, and no one's going to stop me from relocating. I lost my job, but I'm still going to make it to Florida, or I've always wanted to move to New York, and really having that clear goal. How are you going to go there? How are you going to make it to that goal? Don't let anything stop you. And that helps with resilience as well. Once you have that clear vision, sometimes those goals are large, but also, and I talk about this a lot, I preach about this, where, take those large goals, but piece them piece them into small units, where it's stepping stones. Okay, So as an example, let's say you want to relocate somewhere, you live in Iowa and you want to move out to New York. So what are those stepping stones? Doing your research about New York, trying to go out there. Maybe you lost your job. That's a setback, but maybe it's a setup and an opportunity to say, hey, I'm gonna move out to New York. I'm gonna start just applying for jobs out there. Seeing what the cost of living is. What do you have to do? How do you compete with, people in the East Coast or in New York for certain jobs, and really piecemeal it so that you can make it to that final vision or that final goal that you have. Another thing I would say is definitely support, having a strong support system, and this includes friends and families, your network, even previous managers, that you've worked for that were really good, bosses and good leaders, really staying connected with them, as well throughout your journey. These people in your network and your support, they're going to help to build your resilience. They're going to, you know, be that ear that, you can talk to and that shoulder to lean on. And those people who have probably gone through, certain setbacks and can really coach you and help you throughout the way, throughout that journey. So again, having a strong support team is really important as well. And also, I know this is hard to hear, especially right now. A lot of people, unfortunately, are probably looking for work or unemployed or going through a transition of a layoff. But, failure is, look at it as a stepping stone. Look at it as, don't fear it. Embrace it. Make sure. And I'm not saying people that got laid off or looking for jobs are failures. It's not that, but just in general, sometimes you may feel that way. I think it's called imposter syndrome, where you feel like you're not good enough, and probably in your mind you may feel like a failure. How come these jobs don't want me? How come I can't find a husband or find a man? Or how come I can't, find that wife, that partner, that person I want to be with. A lot of people can think of think of themselves as a failure, but don't think like that. Really take that as a stepping stone. Like, hey, that no was next opportunity. It wasn't a rejection. So let me continue on and keep moving. Okay. So let me give an example in regards to, how to maintain this positive mindset during an unplanned circumstance, especially maybe as a relocation. I think a lot of athletes go through this where they, get fired from that team, and then they, get picked up by another team. They're playing for a team out in, I don't know, in LA, and then they get relocated to play for a team in New England. So, certain things like that happen. There's a lot of, you have to be resilient with that. That's a change, that's adversity. You're going from, warm climate to cold climate, or from the Midwest to the West Coast. It's just different, using that as an example with sports. But as an example, like job change or losing a job, really having a positive mindset is number one, because I really believe you have to protect your mental health, and that's going to help you be resilient. That's going to help to keep your confidence up and not to get knocked down, as I call it, the enemy, someone that's trying to rob you of your joy, rob you of your confidence and your self-worth. So definitely have that strong and powerful mindset, because you are a king, you are a queen, you can do this. You're going to make it through this setback. And also, allow yourself time to have like this grieving moment, or to go through the emotions of this change in the situation. Be upset, be angry, yell, box, exercise, take out that aggression, cry, just kind of sit there and just ponder and think, but not for too long. Just give yourself a small window to do that, because you have to, keep things moving, keep things in motion. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to be upset. That's fine. It's just a natural human, thing that we go through mentally. But then, as you gather yourself and you went through those emotions, start to gather yourself and take a step back and say, okay, I'm going through this season. I'm going through this hardship. What can I control? What can I do right now? Because this just happened to me. It's out of my control, but what can I do? What can I build? Who can I tap into? Who can I connect with? Where can I apply? So start thinking about what you can control, because we have a lot of control. But I think when we get kind of in this routine and something knocks us off of our routine, then we kind of step back and say, okay, there's no other options. There's nothing I can do. But there's a lot you can do, during the time that you are in this transition. I would say definitely create a plan, and have goals, as I've mentioned, and have a vision of what you want to do, and definitely stay flexible throughout that journey of reaching your goals and that vision. Be agile, be able to move swiftly and move quickly if need be, because it is going to get you to that greater good, to that higher achievement that you are trying to go towards. And as I mentioned before, surround yourself with family and friends and a strong network, because they're going to help you throughout that journey, and help to, again, just build your confidence and your self-value, throughout that time. A couple tips I wanted to share with kind of building resilience, and I know I've kind of mentioned a lot of different things throughout this episode, but I really want to be kind of structured in some of these tips, and it's about six of them I wanted to share with you. And the first one is, as I've kind of mentioned, is the self-awareness. Be self-aware of yourself. Be aware of what you can control. Understand your strengths, understand your weaknesses, understand what opportunities are out there, who can you talk to, who are you mentored by. So really think about that, because that's going to really help to really identify who you are and what is the next thing that is in your path, or the next chapter in your life that you are approaching at this time in your season. Set realistic goals. Set goals for yourself. Like I said, have those large goals, but don't just attack it right away. Really break it into smaller units and smaller pieces that are more digestible, and that's gonna they're stepping stones. It's going to help you reach, to that ultimate goal that you have, and that realistic goal. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a challenge, but having that strong mindset and mentality is going to help you reach, to that higher level that you are trying to reach as well. And with proper planning, that's going to help as well, throughout that process, writing things down, being consistent. That's going to be really key, because if you're not consistent, then you're like, oh, what the hell am I doing this for? It's not even, I don't see any results. But you have to be consistent. It's all a marathon, and showing that you are worthy of this and that you are working hard towards it is definitely going to pay off, and you're going to see those results. I'm sure you are. Seek support, as I keep saying, that support system, strong support system, mentors, previous colleagues, people that you can definitely trust in, and people that aren't going to judge you, and people that have gone through the season that you're going through. That's going to be helpful as well. Adaptability. Uh, Again, being able to be agile, being able to make those decisions on the draw, and knowing that those decisions are going to be crucial to your path and helping you get to where you need to be at, in this chapter in your life. So adaptability is a big one, and really with adaptability too, I would add, when there's an opportunity, you take it. You kind of evaluate it just a little bit, but being able to take that opportunity quick, and knowing that it's there, it's a yes or a no. It's just like in the Matrix, the blue pill and the red pill. And being able to make that decision on the fly helps with adaptability as well, and helps with confidence as well. I believe too, because you're being decisive and not indecisive when it comes to making a decision at that time. The next one is, practicing mindfulness. So again, taking time to really reflect on yourself, really protect your mental health, really monitor that stress or de-stress during this time if you can. I know everyone has busy lives and have different responsibilities, but kind of try to find a time throughout the day where you can kind of just de-stress, and trying to think um, trying to think about what you can do now. And the thing is, I'll say, as an example for myself, one thing I have a challenge with personally is I'm always a planner. I'm always thinking about the future. And so that really affects me because sometimes I don't live in the present. Sometimes I'm not in the present because I'm in the future. And guess what? That future may never even happen, or that future is not happening the way that I envisioned it. It's just part of the universe. It's part of how it's going to happen in place. It's great to plan, but it's also beneficial to be here and to, as people say, you take it day by day. I think about the military. Um, when people go through like special task force, special elite, um, uh, training, and it's for 60 days or it's for 3 months, and they're really breaking you down mentally and physically, and they really want to weed out who's the weak person, and then once they do, then they start training the people that have the strong mentality. But the thing is, you can't go in there thinking about that last day, let's say 60 days, day 60, you got to take it day by day. And you got to be ready for those curveballs that are going to get thrown at you and the drill sergeant yelling at you and everything like that. So you got to take it day by day, when it comes to going through a transition or going through a journey. As well as there's a healthy balance between present and also planning and being proactive and ready and prepared, for anything that comes in the future. And then the last thing I would say is learn from the setbacks. I talked about this with failures or, the upset situations. Think about athletes when they lose a game. Think about our greatest athletes who have lost large games or took that winning shot and it didn't go in. And then they come back and maybe they have a three-peat, they have a dynasty. Maybe they come back and they're just winning every other year, with that team. So they really embrace that setback. And that setback was actually a set up, to challenge you so that it could push you, to what you deserve, to something greater. So that's something I wanted to share as well. So because I threw a lot at you, I'll do a quick recap. So just different tips on building resilience is definitely the self-awareness, um, setting realistic goals, seeking support, adaptability, practice mindfulness, and then the last one is learn from your setbacks. Last example I want to share with you all as I wrap up here. Um, for me personally, during a season that I'm going through a job interview, and I know it can be very routine, very mundane. There's a lot that goes involved with seeking employment, applying for jobs, and things like that. So there's an employer that, it was a great question. They asked, how do I how do I be resilient? Like basically, how do I push through when there's a lot of pushback, or maybe I'm supporting a stakeholder or department and I have an idea and they uh, don't believe in my idea. Basically they were asking about resilience and being strong, and I think it was because there's a lot of pushback. They were looking for a strong leader, and I basically said, I'm resilient every day, applying for jobs every day. I'm consistent. I have a time frame of when I apply, certain times of the days when I'm available to interview if I don't have anything else going on. Being able to uh, there's a lot of energy involved with applying, and then also the excitement of getting that interview, whether it's a phone interview or first round, third round, etc. And then you don't get the job, and then you're like deflated, and that's where the set of imposter syndrome comes in, or I'm a failure, or I didn't get it because of this, or oh, I should have answered that question in this way. You just never know. And so I didn't go deep into this with the answer, but it was basically letting her know, like, I have to be resilient every day because I'm always getting uh, pushback. Maybe there's pushback, or maybe I didn't answer a question I feel the right way, and I have to continue to critique myself and continue to be stronger and look at, what do I want to do? Who or where do I want to work, or what am I skilled in? And being able to do that, and then transitioning that into my professional career is the same type of mindset. There's different factors and different challenges and obstacles I go through personally, but it's the same thing in the professional sense or professional field when you're getting that pushback, from someone, or you're believing in bringing in this new system or investing in something that's going to help to really streamline the business. Um, so different things like that. And so I kind of want to bring that to your attention because ironically they asked me about resilience, and I just kind of wanted to share that, in regards to my response with that. But um, again, just overall resilience, being strong, being mindful, protecting yourself mentally, knowing again, you are a king, you are a queen, you are a leader. Um, Whether you're not getting those jobs, there's an employer or someone out there that definitely wants you and knows your skills are an asset. Whether you're going through a breakup or something didn't work out with a relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it was a relationship, there's someone out there that knows that you are worth it and they want you in their life. You're going to be a blessing to someone's life. So again, just being resilient and knowing yourself with your strengths and weaknesses, and being able to not avoid the challenges or the adversity, but attack it head on and being able to be agile. So again, I really hope that this was helpful. I hope it was definitely appropriate and needed during this time. I really appreciate you all watching and continuing on in my journey and being part of my community. And, like and share and subscribe and comment and all that good stuff. And as you know, always remember to follow your dreams.